Okay. We had an opportunity to win there at the end, and we just weren't able to finish out. I told the team really it was more about, you want to know you're playing complimentary football. It's a big deal with me. You guys have been around me, know that. And so as long as one of your units is keeping you alive, you can weather the storm. But then we hit that rough patch. They're in the fourth quarter. It's 3rd and 1. 3rd and really half a yard, and we get a penalty, backs us up, then we don't convert. Then defensively, we punt them down there, but defensively we can't stop them. They chew up most of the fourth quarter and kick a field goal to go up 7, and then we couldn't answer back. So we just stalled out there at the end, but a lot of guys made some plays. When they had their opportunity. And really the story for us, as far as the loss goes, is too many penalties. There are way too many penalties that we got to clean up.
When you look at Jackson Meeks, the way he's played the last 2 weeks, and really the way he's played all through camp, man, is he maybe that conversation for maybe that final roster spot at receiver pretty difficult now?
Well, he's somebody that we feel like has improved every day, every week. So you're always going to take notice of those guys. He's going to be somebody that we talk about tomorrow. He's going to come up because he's elevated his play and he is noticed. So, we'll be discussing him for a while tomorrow.
Coach, you talked about that versatility with Baki. What did you see out of him today, just coming out and able to play on special teams and also get some carries? And what did you think about his performance?
It was just good to get him out there. I mean, that's where I would start. He's missed most of camp, so to be able to get him out, get him some significant reps on special teams, on offense, I thought he did a few things. So that's where I'm happy. I don't, I'll know more is about exactly what it looked like, but it's just good to get him out there on the turf, moving around, playing football again.
Dan, Kyle Allen has been looking like the same player that was really tearing it up early in training camp. What's your confidence level at with him when he's able to go from practice to the games and look like the same player?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty confident. I mean, here we go. This is the 2nd week in a row, in a competitive setting here that he's moved the football for us and made critical throws at critical times. I thought the 2-minute drill at the end was awesome right before half. I mean, that was, he's got really good command of the offense. He communicates very clearly. He doesn't get frazzled. He doesn't worry about anything. If he does something that isn't quite right or he makes a mistake, like he doesn't get frazzled. He's on to the next play, which all of us appreciate that. So, he's done a good job. I do have faith in him.
It looks like he's taken kind of the lead in the competition between him and Hooker. Do you agree with that? And how do you assess Hooker's game today?
Yeah, well, we just continue to work with Hooker. I think right now we'll talk about it tomorrow, but I'd like to get him some more reps next week. I'm talking about Hooker. I mean, we're going to give him both reps, but maybe we might start him out again. For that game and let him go with that unit. So, Hooker, what I did like that 2-minute at the end. I thought that was good. It took him a while to get going, but once we got in an end-of-game setting, I appreciated the fact that. Yes, we got a score. Yes, we're under 2 minutes. But the ball went where it was supposed to by coverage. He didn't try to force anything. He was in it. He's calmed everything down enough to know that, man, we don't have to force it. Just take what's there. Let the players do the rest of the work for you. And then, that's it's one of those things that happen at the end of the game. That's tough. He's going to throw it, and the kid makes a play over there. And has tough circumstances.
It almost feels like it's Kyle's job to lose at this point.
Yeah, I mean, he's playing better. So I would say that right now, if you're saying if you had to go in with a 2 right now, who would you trust more? Yeah, I would trust Kyle more because he's proven more after these 2 games. But we're still going to coach Hooker up. We're still going to see what's there and see if we can get him better. I mean, we still got a little bit here.
And can you explain what you're doing with the cornerbacks? It seems like you want to give all those guys a good look early, rotating the cornerbacks.
Yeah.
And within that, Eric Hallett, playing safety, he's playing corner, he's doing a little bit of everything for you, just kind of what you've seen from him.
Yeah, well, he is. He's a guy that can play all the positions, and so you need a corner, you need a nickel, you need a safety. He can do them all. Mentally, he knows them all, and so that gives you ability to really. It's about okay, well, what can the next guy do? Well, we know he can only play this. Okay, well, how you need to go over there then. All right, you become safety or nickel. So he's kind of your get us out of trouble there. But yeah, we wanted to get a good look at all of those guys, and you know, we didn't have a ton of them, so we wanted to make sure we tried to roll them through and keep them somewhat fresh, but give them good looks. And you know, look, man, we played a lot of man today. You know, we played a lot of man, so those guys were in you know, it's good, but it also, man, it's taxing. You know, it's taxing on that group back there to do that play after play. But I thought, man, we got our hands on some balls. We didn't finish on them, but we did. You know, I thought they were competitive and pretty sticky for the most part.
You had a few instances where there were almost turnovers, a couple of forced fumbles, weren't quite able to get those. How do you work on that? Is it just working on sudden change, or just is it luck?
No, I was fired up because that was a point of emphasis this week was, man, getting balls on the ground, getting balls out. Now, we didn't come up with them, but they're hitting the turf. And that's how you do it. And then you get them on the turf, the ball will start bouncing our way. It's the hard part's getting them out. So, I mean, with my eyes alone, I saw 4 on the turf. We didn't get them, but I saw them, and we had an opportunity to. So that we had another 2 that I saw on the back end. You guys were talking about that we had our hands on. We didn't, you know, we weren't able to finish on the interception. But I'm like, theoretically, we could have had 6 turnovers today. That's good. That's a step in the right direction. So that was encouraging.
Dan, Tesla, another nice touchdown catch. I think 5 catches in the second. Is he just showing more and more of the same, or is he even still rising more in your eyes?
No, I would say he continues to grow. You know, you asked about Meeks. Meeks is grown every day, every competitive setting. He's just taken a step up, and Tesla is the same way. Tesla is just continuing to grow and get more comfortable. He's getting more confident, and he's making more plays. And, you know, I bring this up. Every time those happen, you gain trust in those players. You know, you gain trust. So every time he makes a play, and he makes a play in a critical, whether it's in practice or it's out here, you begin to, okay, that's money in the bank. And that's good for us, because at some point we're going to need to use him this year. He's going to have to help us on special teams and on offense. So that's encouraging.
Nate Lynn seems like someone who's pretty hard to ignore the way he's playing. Just how pleased are you with him bouncing back from last year's injury to doing what he's doing right now? Yeah,
it's good for a guy that, you know, he got hurt in camp last year and couldn't do anything, by the way. It's not like, you know, he didn't get to do any practicing, you know, during the season. He couldn't do practice squad. He's essentially, it's kind of rookie season part 2, if you will. So to see him kind of take another step here and grow and get a little bit better, it is good. You know, he's, like I say, he's having a pretty good camp. Cooper's having a pretty good camp. We got a few guys in there that are turning our heads. You know, Miles Adams, I got to see the tape and see all of it today, but, you know, Miles has had a pretty good camp too. So that whole D-line unit's doing pretty good right now.
Do you have an update on Hostin?
Yeah, I mean, not really. He is, out of the ones we had today, he might be the one that could be a minute. It could be a little bit, you know. So we'll know more in the morning. Everybody else, I think we got out okay.